Hello everyone, this is Sheree. How you doing today? Welcome to my channel and to my craft room. So what you're looking at is the crafting tool that I was so excited about that I wanted to, I couldn't wait to get and couldn't wait to use. And I promised I would show it to you, so I'm going to try to demonstrate it today. It's not hard, but on video, it's a little nerve-wracking. I hope everything goes well. But what it is a punching tool to make journals. I make journals with it, and it uses these wire O-rings. This is one brand new out of the package. It comes in the package, and it comes with this little protective cardboard on here, on each one, and this is how long they are. So, like that. What, about 12 inches long, something like that. And so this particular machine I got is a letter size. The brand is Rayson, or Rayson, and it is it says 200 sheets binding. I don't think I would try to put 200 sheets in there. And well, what it says is 200 sheets binding and 12 sheets punching. So there is a difference. And this is the it has a 2, I think, :0 on it. So at first I ordered the 3 and it was the wrong one, and I had to send it back because I didn't know what that meant. Now I do. It's the pitch, Pitch, and so this is the 2. And if I'm telling you anything wrong, I have it linked in my Amazon list, so you can go right to this one if you want to look at all the detailed stats and all that specifics. Like I said, Rayson, and the model number right here is T as in Tom, D as in dog, 1222. So TD1222. Okay, so what I'm going to show you, this is how I have been making the last bit of journals that I've used this metal coil binding on. So what I do first is, first of all, I see if it's going to punch through my cover, because it won't punch through. Everything doesn't fit in here. This is not a big, slot right here where you punch, so everything will not fit in there. So don't think you're just going to punch everything. Like all books will not fit in here. I have one that I tried that I kind of wanted to do in this fashion, and it won't fit in there. It's just too tight. So you got to try it, but this one did fit in there, and I had to, this is the one that I'm working on now, where I had to make a back cover. I didn't have the back cover. And so what I do is figure out my cover first. So I put it in here and match it up to right here. It has all these little rectangles, and it starts from 1, it goes to 220 up here. And I get it set where I can't move it now because it's set for this journal, but I get it set for the journal I'm working on. So I match the cover up to the holes where I want the holes punched, and that's right here. You can see the rectangles. And this has a little knob where you can loosen it and move this. See, there's a big slot here where you can move this back and forth and set it to where you are going to have this, start. So you clamp it down, screw it down tight once you figure out where you want it. So that's why I do my cover first, so I know where my holes are going to be. So I get my cover done, and then I make all my pages. Like in my video yesterday, I got all my pages together. So here's all of my pages. I already punched these in the beginning just because I had it out here, and I was just punched all of these. And then I was like, well, I don't want to. I did it a couple times where I was like, okay, I'm punching some pages, but I was like, this is too big to leave up here, and have my cutter and my paper and everything that I'm working on. So I get it set like this. set it to the side, get all my pages ready, and then now I have my pages ready. I cut some more since yesterday. They're not in order, but they are ready to go to be punched. So I'm going to punch them and then I'll put them in order the way I want them to go into the journal. So, so I'll just take a few and I'll show you. So I'm going to take about, let's see, let's do about 6. See how it punches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just make sure, like, these are all the same size, so that's why I'm able to do them all at the same time. You got to make sure everything's even over here, or else they won't get punched right. If you do anything lopsided, it's going to be off, and you might just have to use it for a scrap or something, but or in some other way. But this side has to be even so that your punches come out right. So, and just make sure you're punching on the right side. Make sure everything's upright, all of that, you know. So these are ready. So I'm going to slide them in here. So I already have my, like I said, I have my little piece here set to the size from the cover. So one thing you can do, though, what I did with this, I put this piece of paper in here after I did the cover. And what I did to measure it was I looked till we see where I wanted it on the cover, and then I moved it down a little because I didn't want it to be at the very top. You know what I mean? I didn't want it to be at the very top. So I moved it down a little and it came out perfect, as you can see. I didn't have to do anything after that. So these I can look at real quick with my cover and say, did I cut them the exact size of the cover, or actually what I did was cut them with a page from the book, from the original book. And it is not the same size as the cover, okay? Here it is right here. I'll show you just for an example, just so you know what I'm talking about. This is the book cover, the original book cover. This is a page from the original book. So you see how it's a little smaller. You can see them green up there, green down here. If I put it right even with the side here, you can see green over here, but what I'm concerned about is the top and the bottom. So there's a little space there, but mostly I'm concerned about the top. So once I get the top right, everything else is going to be good. Okay, so keeping that in mind, I've got those pages that I said I was going to punch. So I think what I'll do now is, sounds like there's a motor. Sounds like there's a lawnmower outside, if you hear that. So let's put it in and see. You can see the hole when you're putting it in. You can kind of see the holes. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to set it for the pages now. I think that's what I'm going to do. So you kind of have to think about what you're doing when you do this. So also, if your pages, get them even at the top too, side and the side where you're punching and the top. That would be best. Okay, because I saw one that this back one wasn't even with the rest. Still, sorry if I'm restacking here. I just want to I want these to come out right. They're pretty pages and I don't want to have to use them as scraps. So again, I'm matching them up with my little rectangles there, and they are smaller than the book cover. So if I were to put them right to the top, the bottom hole, right, or the bottom, you know, the rectangle goes past that I was using for the book cover. Here's the book cover. See, that went well into the book cover here. But the pages, if I put those right at the top, that little rectangle is going past the bottom of my pages. So I'm going to move it down a little, and like right there. Okay, I'm going to loosen this up now, and this is going to be a setting for my pages. So I'm moving it up, putting it even with my pages there. Like I said, the top is the most important because you want to have that punched into your paper. If the bottom goes off the paper a little bit, I don't think that's a problem. Okay, Okay, so tighten that down. Now, we're going to actually punch some holes here. Just a second. I'm just trying to tell you this in, you know, my thinking process through this and getting it all right. So again, check. I always kind of like to double and triple check make sure everything's in the right direction. All even. Okay, we're going to punch. We're going to punch. Okay, so make sure you have everything. Like if your pages are different sizes, and now these are seeming like they're too different. Okay, I'm just going to do one because I don't want these to come out wrong. I'm going to do one. When I'm off video, I kind of am probably not as careful as this, but when I'm on video, I don't want to tell you the wrong thing. So I'm going to be a little bit more over precautious, if you know what I mean. So I've got it. You want to make sure there's like a little piece back there where it runs into in the slot. It runs into that, and that's where you need to go all the way to the back. If you don't, your holes are not going to come out right. So all the way to the back. And then there's a handle over here. You can't, this is kind of a good size machine, so it was hard to get it all into the frame. But there's a handle right here, and you'll see it as I bring it down. It's a good, big, strong handle, so you won't have any trouble. I've put a lot of pressure on it to get through the book covers and things that will fit in here, and it's very strong and sturdy and heavy duty. It's a very heavy duty machine, I will say that. Okay, so bring it down, and there you go. See, this one's just a little bit from the top, and this one goes off the bottom, but that is okay. There is no problem with that at all. It will not affect your journal. The pages are going to be in with no problem. Okay, so I'm going to put this over here. I put all my pretty pages together, and then all my other eclectic vintage pages together, because like I said, I haven't rearranged my pages yet. So let's see if I have any that I can punch together now that are, see, these are not coming out. They're coming out a little, I don't know, I just don't like those two to be punched at the same time. My plan is to get all of these punched and show you how how you put the wires in. But I think this page does it look crooked? It's a little crooked, hold on. Something is crooked about this page. That's what's throwing me off here with punching those all together. I don't know if you can see it, but this is a little crooked, and this looks like a little crooked. So let's straighten this out. That'll help me a lot when punching like this type of journal. That it seems that you want everything to have straight lines like this. Okay, now this one. Okay, there we go. That's much better. You need to have everything square kind of when you do this. So, like I said, it's easy, but you kind of just got to think through the process and make sure you're doing everything right. Or your holes. If your holes don't come out in the right place, then you know they're going to be off. You know, too high, too far out this way, and then they won't be holes. You'll cut through your paper in the wrong way, and they won't be holes. They'll just be little, you know, slices in your paper. So I think I can, now that I got that one straight, that one was throwing me off. Let's see if we can punch about 4 here. So I got them all in there. And, I mean, in the end, it's just paper. So if you make a mistake, you know, you probably have more paper that you can make another one with. So I'm still finding this weird because I stack them like this, and then when I put them in, they go farther, each one goes farther in than the other. So I don't know what that is all about. That's why I'm just going to have to do one at a time for these. And then when I come to some that I can do more than one, but you get the idea about the punching, right? And so I think that's pretty understandable. So let's punch a couple just so you see how easy it is, and then I might pause so that I can have time to show you the actual putting the wire end in this video, because I don't think I should have to do, I don't really want to have to do 2 videos on that. I don't think you guys want me to do 2 videos on that. So, okay, so you get the idea. I would like to do more than a few at a time so you can see how they come out. Let's do this right here. This is the little card that I put in, and it has 4 pages, and these are all, of course, exactly the same size because they're from a card. So I'm going to put these, maybe, I'm going to think, okay, they're going to be in the middle of the journal, kind of centered on the in the journal, you know what I mean, from top to bottom. So I'm going to put them here where I think they would fit. I'm going to put them about right here. So I'm going to push them in, and then punch. So you see how it made a little bit louder noise when you're putting more paper, and these are kind of like thick cardstock. Not thick cardstock, but thick and cardstock. And there you go. See, I punched 4 at one time. See that? So I'm putting this in as a little book in the journal, so it's still connected here, but I detached the tops here. I had cut that apart. So that one's ready. Okay, so I'm going to pause and do the rest of these. If you have any questions about the page punching, let me know, but then we'll go on to the next step after I get all of these punched. I'll be right back. Okay, guys, I got my pages all punched and but punched and in order. And so I'm ready to put the coil on. I put more pages in here than I probably should have. Like, maybe it doesn't look like a lot of pages, but it's 52 pages, or approximately 52, I don't know. I kind of just counted, and I said I was going to go for 42, and it's probably like 52. And then if you count both sides, of course, that's 104. But here it is if I just let them kind of be themselves, and if I want to squish them together, they go like that. But believe me, by the time you get ephemera, and if I add anything, I don't know if I have quite a few flip outs and pockets, so, but I still, you know, by the time you add your if I add tabs, if I were to add, just whatever you add adds, you know, adds to it, and so it could end up being like this. So I'm going to be careful as far as what I add to it, but anyway, that's how it is right now. So let's get going on so we can get this finished during a reasonable amount of time here. What I do next is count again. I've counted these several times already, but I count my holes in my cover. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And so then I take the metal coils, and count 15. So I just count them on this side, because this goes in the hole. So this just makes more sense to me to count this side. So did I say 15? Oh Lord. I think I said 15. Let me make sure now that I'm talking. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yes, better to be careful. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So I need all of these little prongy sides to go into the book. So I take that and I cut right here. These are just my little jewelry wire cutters, and I cut right there as close as I can. I don't need any extra on this part, so kind of in the corner right there, just chop that off. And I'm saving all these pieces for hopefully I'll run across smaller journals that I want to make, and I'll be able to use all these little pieces that come off of there. I have used some, but I have a lot to use. So then you take this and you hang it right here. There's some little prongs right here on this side of this platform. You hang it right here like that, and you just start putting your everything on there. But one trick is tip is to get your cover on correctly first. So what works and how I like it is to, so my cover's like this when it's normal, but when I put it on here, I have to kind of do it backwards. So you put this in back of this, and then you put this on here. So actually the back goes on first, and you can see it just slips right on, and there you go. And then you put your pages on. So you can do more than one at a time, but I'm just going to show you how it goes. And so I'll show you a few here, and then I might just pause and get them all together, and then we can do, I'm not going to do a flip through, but I want to just show you how to squeeze, how I squeeze the coils together. So I want to have time to do that, right? So, but I'm going to show you how this goes for a minute here, or a few minutes. Let's see. This one is not going on right. I don't know what happened there. Let's see. Let me see. Yeah, the holes don't even look right. I don't know how it even did that. It must have been off. And it happens, which is fine. Like I said, I have extra pages in here. So if there's something wrong with one, I would just leave it out. But let me punch again and see what happens. Oh, somehow that one was off. Okay, see that? Maybe I punched more than one at a time, but I'm not going to use that. What I could do, hold on, just to show you, you know, the whole truth about it. I got my little paper cutter here. I'm going to cut that off, those holes that are wrong, just right beyond the hole, so I don't cut off too much. Okay, so I cut off those holes. There you go. It still looks good. It was basically just white space anyway. So I'm going to open this up so I don't think I'm going to catch that, but I'm just going to make sure. So I'm going to open it up and try it again. Okay, I'm going to make sure it's right up against the, I might have punched more than one paper at a time and somehow that didn't come out right. I don't know what I did, but try it again. Okay, now that looks right. See, the holes were square and they're supposed to be little rectangle holes, so I don't know what I did, but there you go. I fixed it and we can still use it. Boom. So stuff like that, you just kind of, you know, work it out, figure it out. Now I would like to put more than one on here at a time, but I want to make sure, because I have some different sizes in here, so I want to make sure, because I'm going to be moving those around a little bit. Like here's one coming up here, so I can show you what I'm talking about. This is smaller, and I punched it. When I punched it, I made sure of the holes were, you know, I lined it up by the holes and made sure they were going to punch in the best position. And so I'm going to put this right kind of like in the middle somewhere, wherever it fits, like that, okay? And then keep on going. So, I mean, this only, you know, if there's 52 pages in here, then I'm going to have to do, if I want to do one at a time, I'll just take the time to make sure they're on there right. And just do this, what I'm doing right now, 52 times. And then all the pages will be on there, right? And then if there's something wrong while I'm doing this, like just happened with those holes, I can, you know, decide, make a decision, in or out, or you repunch or whatever. So this one's a different size, but again, I made sure my holes were, see how it's inside the bottom and the top. There's nothing going off, so I can put it in the middle here. And it looks good. Okay, so I'm going to finish putting these on, and then I'll show you how I cinched these together. So I'll be right back. Okay, guys, let me get my timer back going again. So I've got all the pages on there, and so now I'm just going to pick it up, and over here, right here, this is where, under here is where you put the coils to squish them together. Technical term there, squish. No, just kidding. But yeah, so this has two little knobs right here that you turn to go up and down according to the size of coils you're using. And under it has a little kind of ruler. And so I need to raise it up because the other day I did a little bit smaller coils, something with a little bit smaller coils, and I had to lower it. So I need to raise it back up to 1 inch. So you just, let's see, make sure I'm going up here. This goes up. So to the left goes up, and raise it all the way up to, pretty much all the way up is 1 inch. Sorry if I'm shaking the table a little bit there. But let me see. You want to have that in the right place. Okay, so 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch. Yeah, pretty much all the way up is 1 inch. That's the supposedly the maximum coils that you can do in here. I think I would try one, if there is such a thing as 1 1/4, I would try it. But maybe not bigger than that. 1.5 definitely would not fit in there. And 1 1/4 would probably be tight too. So really, I mean, I have 1 inch. I don't plan on doing more than 1 inch coil, so this machine is fine for me. I don't know if they make them like this bigger than that. When I looked for it, I looked for the, you know, the sizes that I want, the size that I wanted. So anyway, I've got it like this, taken off the little prongs here, and you can see I kind of like even it up as far as, so I have my split right here, and it's kind of like even on either side, you know, the coils that are coming up. So I've got it even there, the split right in the middle, and then I put that in there in my, and it probably doesn't matter. It's about 12 inches long. I'll put it right in the middle. Let's see how that does. And then you just, it has a magnet in there. The back of this is a magnet. So these coils stick to it, and it kind of holds it, which is really kind of nice. My little Zutter doesn't have a magnet. So, but then you just take your handle again, the big handle, and carefully start, you know, I don't do this fast or anything. I'm really careful here because you don't want to over smash them, and you don't want to, well, if you you can do more. So I'm kind of looking at the side too to see when it comes together. So really, I think you're supposed to be able to go all the way down. That's the point of putting it on 1 inch. But I still like am careful because I've had the Zutter where it didn't, like it went too far. So even though I feel like I had my measurement in the right place, I didn't really go all the way down yet. So let's just see how we did so far without going all the way down. See, they're not together yet, and I didn't go all the way down. So, all right, so I can trust my instincts here and trust my machine and go a little farther. There's where we were. So let's keep going all the way down. Okay, it's all the way down to 1 inch. So let's see how we did. Let's see if it put it together properly, or do I need to do more? See, I need to do a little more. So I'm going to lower it a little bit. It's not all the way together, and these have to be all the way together so your paper doesn't come off. You know what I mean? If I were to close it right now, your paper would just slip right through there. It would just slip off. Okay, so I'm going to lower it a little bit. Like I said, you kind of just got to figure things out along the way sometimes, and little tweaks or whatever to get everything come together. See, I think this is fun for me. Some people probably would hate this, but for me, this is a load of fun. So that's why I was so excited to get this machine. I always loved my little Zutter, but I just thought I would like to put the coils all up and down easier, so that's why I got this machine. So, okay, again, I'm going to go all the way, not all the way down, because I lowered my thing, right, to less than 1 inch. So I don't want to go all the way down now because it might be too much. So again, being careful, probably overly cautious, but I want, you know, this is a journal I'm going to sell, so I don't want to mess it up, you know what I mean? So a little bit farther, and this is just what I do. I just keep going back and forth until, and it usually is a little faster off video. I'm being like super extreme overly cautious on video because I don't want to mess it up on video especially. Okay, so I kind of went all the way down on that one. Let's see how we did. It's almost together. I notice when I do it, like say it's pretty much together over here and it's a little wider over here. I don't know why that is. I have this in the same measurement, but instead of lowering it all, I think I will just make sure it's in the same. I'm going to squish on this end a little bit, so I just take it down here where, see, this part is sticking out of the part that squishes, and this part that's further apart is in the part that squishes. Okay, let's see how we did there. See, now it's pretty much even. So I need to squish a little more. I think I'm going to actually, I don't think I've ever turned it over though. I don't want to do that because I've never like turned it over and tried to squish it. I don't want to do that. Okay, so it needs to be squished a little bit more. I'm going to just lower it a hair. My little screws here in the top. And try to make it even. I look at your measurements and you can see if it's even or not. You can. They are hard to see. They're little numbers, but you can look, and you can look at the space too. Like as you're lowering, there's this platform on top, and then there's a bar here that lowers to get your measurement. So you can look and see there's like a space there in between the top and the second. So you can kind of look, if you're good at eyeballing things, you can see like, oh, it's higher on this side than that side too. And then you can also look at your numbers underneath. So a little bit more on all the way because it's still not together as much as I would like it all the way. So I did feel a little bit more squishing going on there. Still not together as much as I would like it. Sorry to be so picky on video. I just don't want to mess my journal up here because you can't really pull it apart in a manner that it doesn't get wonky. So you don't want to push it together more than it should be, because it just, if you try to pull it back apart, it just gets wonky, and I know that from experience. Okay, this side is good. This side needs a little more, so I am gonna turn it over because I don't want to. Well, let's see. Do I have to turn it over? Because it's. I think I am going to turn it over a little bit just to get this side here from here over. It needs to be squished together a little bit more. So let's just get those few coils. Again, I'm still trying to keep that in the middle. Okay, I think they are good. I think they're good. I'm going to push that one a little bit. But yeah, see how they're all together now? I'm just trying to make sure they're all together. I think I'm going to give it a little bit more of a squish right there. I just, you know, this is one thing that, you know, some things don't have to be perfect, but this is one thing I feel like has to be perfect. There we go. Now we're together. See, I don't want a space in there where pages are going to be able to slip out. So now it looks like it's together. Okay, I'm happy now. All right, I'll stop. Now then you just see this part here. I'm going to call this the prongs, and then this is a bigger loop over here. That bigger loop goes up against your back cover. Then you just turn everything, and there you go. Your journal is made with some beautiful coil binding and a beautiful journal. And you know, this could be, I was going to say, if you've watched to the end, I'll repeat this sometime, but if anybody ever wants a journal that's just like this without anything else in it, just paper and a book cover, let me know. I would be happy to make something like that with this style of coil binding. I just usually, that was actually my intent when I got this. I was like, I'm just going to make some journals like this, just blank. And then I couldn't help myself but to put some extra things in there, you know. But I mean, I could make it just like this, and then add a little goodie pack with the tags or things to make tags, and you know, all the goodies that I put in, or at least some of the goodies that I put in, I would just put in a goodie pack, and then you would receive the journal just like this. And it's, I mean, look at it. It's gorgeous, just like this. I don't want to really do a flip through right now, but because I am going to decorate and embellish a little bit, but I wanted to show you one page, what I did when I asked you about putting this little musical thing in. So I cut a piece, and I'll show you that in a second, but this one's first, so I'll show you that. But yeah, I cut this piece here off the end, and I use it as a little pocket here. So see, that's a piece of that musical kind of, it had the notes A, B, C, D, F, G, whatever on there. and it's a really thick cardstock. Anyway, I said I was going to sew it on. So anyway, this is the piece I cut off there, off the end, because I put the other one as a tuck spot lengthwise. So there we go there. And let me see if I can find the other page real quick. Put it back in here somewhere. And I did sew it on, so I felt like it needed to be sewed on because it was such a, you know, it was made, it's kind of like laminated, and at least on one side, is it yeah, just one side's kind of like laminated. So I just felt like it really needed some strength, and so here's the other one right here. I put it on this page. I felt like it looked pretty here. And see, here's the notes and the, you know, the letters, and here's the music staff or whatever. And I felt like it looked good there, and I sewed around like that, and so now it's a little tuck spot. Isn't that cute? So that's what I did with it. I wanted to let you know because I asked you about that. But anyway, I will continue to finish this journal up and get it in my shop. If you are interested in, you know, I have lots of old books, so I can do this for someone if they wanted just like a blank journal just like this. And then it would be, you know, I mean, all my journals are priced very reasonable. If you look at other people's prices, you'll know that my journals are priced very, very reasonable. But yeah, those would even be more reasonable because I'm not doing as much work on it. I'm not, you know, going through the pages and decorating and doing each one. That, I mean, that takes a long time, right? So anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the demonstration of my new machine. I love it. I recommend it highly if you did want something like that. It's linked in my Amazon list. And yeah, I'm keeping it. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in my next video. Have a great day.